For a while, I stepped back. And it was not because I stopped caring. It was not because I stopped building. It was not because the mission that I know that God has me on had changed. It was simply that I was noticing something in our work that I cannot ignore. As the co founder of the Fantasy Love Co., our mission is to guide vision driven women and men to be who they really see and create a love life that fuels the life that they're building. To create a love life that is a source of power, strength, and vitality. And one of the things that I notice, and when I say I am usually talking in conjunction with my husband, if it's ever truly just me, I'll say me and only me, okay? But that some of our coaching clients, they were excelling. They were getting clarity, they were making decisions, they were experiencing shifts. It was shifting how they were showing up in their daily life, how they were showing up in the choices that they made, and how they showed up in their relationships. And that had a direct reflection on what they were experiencing in their relationship. They were literally experiencing the love life that they imagined. But others were struggling. It was not because they did not want the result. It was not because they were not capable, and it was not because the dream that they imagined for their own life and for their love life was not real for them. It was not because they weren't giving it enough. It wasn't because of the effort. It wasn't because of any of that. But it didn't change the fact that they were struggling. And after I investigated and did some digging, I noticed that the problem rested in one thing. There was still a gap between who they said they wanted to be and who they were actually being in real time. And when I observed that, I did not have full peace moving forward as if I did not see it. I did not have full peace moving forward, hearing everybody say, keep marketing. It's time for you to grow. It's time for you to expand and serve more people. It's time. It's working for enough people. I did not have enough peace knowing that there were a few people that were still struggling. And I know we cannot save everybody. I know we cannot help everybody. I know that we cannot guide everybody. But there are people who are directly assigned to my voice, to our voice, to the Fantasy Love Code. And it is our duty, it is our obligation, and it is our responsibility to do everything in our power to ensure we reach them, and not just reach them, that we serve them. So I could not be at peace moving forward. Equally, I didn't really know what to do about it. And I'm being honest with you, okay? I knew the solution, but quite frankly, somewhere deep inside of me, I was still tossing back and forth as to, well, is this true what we're saying? Is this just me being a perfectionist? Am I just overanalyzing? There's a lot of self-doubt inside of myself as to what we had discovered. There was a lot going on there, to be honest. And I'm just going to be completely vulnerable with you right now. But I knew I did not have peace moving forward. I knew I did not have peace to keep going forward. Marketing, even with people who had great intentions, saying, do it this way, they'll ultimately catch on. I didn't have the peace. And I'm thankful that I had my husband standing right there beside me to say, you don't have to do that. You didn't come this far just allowing what other people wanted or what they suggested to move you. You've always allowed your internal guide to truly be your guide. Trust it on this one. But it still didn't change the fact that I didn't really know what to do. I had to answer some questions. Why were some people experiencing powerful transformations while others kept circling the same patterns? Why? I had to answer that. Why were some people able to take the work and move with it while others kept being pulled back into the same version of themselves that they said they were ready to leave? See, it wasn't enough to know the gap and to know what I was seeing. I needed to know why. What was keeping them there struggling? Why were some people able to align their decisions, their relationships, their everyday lives and living with what they really wanted, while others kept struggling to embody the very thing that their hearts truly desired? And that question led me back to the foundation of the work. Now, most people don't know this story, but I'm going to share it, okay? When I initially started, it was not the Fantasy Love Co. We didn't start with the Fantasy Love Co. My mission in 2014 was to help people be who they really see themselves being, to help them get clarity, to help them set goals, help them walk through a very proven strategy to accomplish their goals and their dreams. That was the mission, and it came directly to me. There was no doubt about it. And I carried that for years, keeping that front and center, not budging off of it, still serving people, but keeping that front and center. But I kept noticing a pattern. It didn't matter who I was working with or who we were working with. About 90 to 95% of the time, what people were experiencing, somehow, their ability to accomplish their goals and their dreams, their ability to really be who they really saw themselves be, it kept routing right back to an issue they were having in their love life. And to be honest, I got it. I understood it. Because that's how Be Who You Really See came to me. I was in that same exact boat that they were finding themselves in. I had been there. In 2018, it was no doubt in our minds to add the intentional mission of helping people create the love life that they imagine. And it was because we were hosting a Be Who You Really See event. And at the event, individuals showed up. At one event, everyone showed up and they talked. They were very clear about what their goals were, what their dreams were, what their struggles were, and we processed through it. At the second event, people did the same thing, but everyone there had one goal in common. How do I get my love life to be what I really want it to be? It is impacting every area of my life. And no matter what I try, and y'all, these are Christian women like myself. No matter what I try, no matter how much I believe, no matter how much I pray, and I'm following what I believe to be what I'm supposed to be doing as a Christian, somewhere along the way, my love life is suffering. That's what everybody's literally, their complaint, their desire, their goal, it was connected to their love life. Now, I had observed several things prior to that that had already confirmed to me that that was the direction that we needed to add to Be Who You Really See. But that one sealed it. It sealed it. So when I had to answer those questions and ask myself those questions, I was forced to walk back through years of coaching, years of questions that had been asked, years of questions that I had asked, years of answers. And it brought me to one place. It did not matter how much people really wanted to create the love life they imagined. Their deepest desire, their deepest need, their deepest struggle was right back to their identity. It went right back there. Somewhere in their identity, somewhere in how they were seeing themselves, somewhere in how they were perceiving themselves, they were struggling. And I couldn't ignore that because everything in me knows from 2014 that my purpose, my mission, and my calling is to help people be who they really see themselves being. I am specifically called to serve those who know that there is a vision of themselves that they see, and they expect their lives to fully align with it. They're building a life for themselves, first and foremost. And in that life that they're building for themselves, there's a way they see themselves as a spouse, as a parent, as a co-worker, in their faith, in their spirituality. There's a way that they see themselves, and they really want their life to fully align with that vision. They don't want to just build a life. They've done that. They want to live the life that they really see, and they want to live that life being the version of themselves that they really see. They want a dream where they are exactly who themselves being, personally, professionally, spiritually, financially, relationally. That's what they want. They want to do work that they love. They want to do work that means something to them. They don't want to show up just to get a check. I get it. I have the privilege for all these years of being able to do work that I love. I get it. I've not always had the privilege of being able to show up authentically as myself. Sometimes the roles that I've had to play while doing the work that I love have required me, the real me, to step back a layer or two or three sometimes in order to serve who was standing in front of me. But it didn't change the fact that I was doing at the core of my being what I love doing. So I got it. I understood it. I understood what they were really dealing with. They wanted to operate in their calling. They want their life, their work, their faith, the family, their future. They want it all to align with who they really see themselves being. And that is what my purpose, my mission, and my calling is all about, being who you really see. But somehow, in my mission of making sure that I serve the most immediate need, the most immediate hurt that people were having, I overlooked the level of depth that everybody really needed. Not just the level of depth that the people who got to spend the most time with me in private one-on-one coaching was getting. Because quite frankly, that's what I discovered. And while I didn't know what to do about it, I knew what to do about it. Because I said, there is nowhere in this world that there is enough time, nor do I have the amount of energy that it really takes to pour all of that is in me, that is really helping to shift the trajectory of who our clients see themselves being. Those clients that were excelling, they were the ones who got to spend the most time with me. They were the ones who got to call on me when they had questions. They were the ones who got access to me. And quite frankly, if I've got to be honest, because I asked myself this, is this just a matter of charging everybody more money? And the answer was no. Even for more money, I could not see myself having enough time and energy to serve at the level that I know that I am called to serve. Because quite frankly, when God gave this vision to me, it was big. And as I've walked in it and served in it, and my husband has had to lift and build and guide and pray for me, and sometimes just hold me while I'm crying, I don't have that much human time in me to do that. But it did not change the fact that I know that this is my calling, that this is my purpose, that this is my mission, to help people be who they really see themselves being. So I had to branch out. I had to go And I had to invest time and energy to learning again, to learning from somebody who can help me pull all of what was in there in me that got to be given to those one-on-one and say, okay, you got to figure out what is it that's inside of you that makes you pour into them one-on-one. What is it? Yes, y'all, I did the first thing that I knew to do. I did. I immediately went and I updated the book that we wrote. I knew to do that. But even with updating the book, okay? Even with updating the book and making sure to add the be who you really see to it, I knew that was not enough. Because the question was, how are you facilitating it? And it is that those who spend time with me, they get access to me. They get access to the energy and the heart of me. And I do believe I'm a great writer. I write. But I had not been able to figure out how to pour that out onto a sheet of paper in a way that quickly shifted people. And in that time of coaching and learning, sitting under the studies of a person who is a beast at what she does, it was then that I knew exactly what I had to do. I had to step outside of what I prefer to do, and I had to do the most important thing. And I know it was the most important thing that I had to do because ever since I made that decision, I've had a level of peace. I've had a level of, I would just call it a level of miraculous healing, even in my body, from being obedient. Because the reality is, for those who I'm called to serve, who you keep sensing yourself being is possible. I don't use dream in the sense that a lot of people use it. I don't. Who you know is still there beneath the roles, the patterns, the fears, the expectations, the uncertainty and doubt, everything you've had to do and every version of yourself you've had to be just to survive, creating all this level of misalignment. You can't get through life like that. You can't close the gap that exists between who you are and who you see yourself being. You can't close it by continuing to hold all those things on. Because it'll leave you like this, spending a life fighting physically, mentally, emotionally. You will be fighting for your life. I know that what I do is for vision women, vision-driven women, vision-driven men. I'm going to throw this in there just so that you know. Even your children become men and women one day. And it works for them too. There is a version of you that is clearer, it is freer, it is aligned with everything that you see for yourself. You are more alive. You are fully expressing yourself in your daily life and in your love life. And you are truly building what you know you are called to build. You are truly being who you know you are called to be. But right now, that version is just not consistently showing up. And quite frankly, it's not just not showing up in your love life. It's not showing up in the decisions that you make. It's not showing up in your work decisions. It's not showing up in your parenting. Not thoroughly, because quite frankly, I know that some of you are like I was over 12 years ago. No matter how much you tell yourself, like I was telling myself, I'm still being the mother that I see myself being, even though over these other areas, something isn't quite aligned. The truth is, you're not. Because anytime integral pieces of you are missing, it is impossible for the totality of your being, the totality of who you see yourself being, to show up anywhere. And those gaps matter. When you see yourself clearly and you show up as that person, you just feel different. And anytime there's a point of misalignment, you feel off. My name is Ashley Boyd. I am an identity alignment strategist. I help vision-driven women and men see themselves clearly, release what doesn't fit, and be who they really see, not in action, not just behaviorally. That's what I mean, not just in action. In their thinking, in the full embodiment. This is not just a behavioral shift. This is everything in your being knows who you see yourself being. Everything in your being releases what you know does not fit, does not align with who you see yourself being, and you walk in it. You talk it. You live it. You don't just behave it. This is not behavior modification. I have over 18 years of experience helping people recognize what misalignment is, tell themselves the truth about who they really see themselves being, and of course, be who they really see. Make decisions that align with it. Y'all, my history started in 2006. The first job that I had was at a residential treatment center. And at that residential treatment center, it was specifically to serve youth. And when I say youth, ages 10 through 22, who had committed a sexual crime or a violent crime. But because they were youth, they could not be sentenced to an adult prison. And so they sent them to the types of operations that I work with. And on top of that, they had layers of mental health diagnoses. My job was to help rehabilitate them. That was the word they taught me to use, rehabilitate. Everything in my being knew that I was helping them realign with the versions of themselves that they saw, because most of the youth that I work with, that I had the privilege to be able to serve, and I literally view it as an honor to be able to serve them, most of them didn't have a desire to be walking around raping people. Yes, we're talking youth, teenagers. Most of them didn't have a desire to be robbing people. Most of them didn't have a deep desire to end someone's life. Quite frankly, I can count on one hand how many of the youth I got the opportunity to serve said, "Miss, respectfully, everything in me believes that this is who I am, that I was born this way, and as long as I can remember, this is all I've ever been able to see. The other They were saying, Miss, I see somebody different. I just don't know how to get over all the stuff that I've done, all the way leading up to what got me placed here. I don't even know if there's an opportunity for me to really be able to be this person that you're sitting here and that all the staff are sitting here working with me saying I can be. Quite frankly, a part of me doubts it. I went from there to working with youth who were in the foster care system. 2008 marked that shift. And there I got to see the damage that abuse, neglect, and exploitation does to children, does to families. I got to be integral in helping those youth, those families, those foster families, the organizations be able to be a source of healing, to help children who were truly at a place saying the same exact thing. I don't know. There's so much hurt. There's so much I've gone through. I see a better life. I daydreamed about a better life. But this isn't how I saw it coming about. I didn't see it happening by way of me being removed from my family. I saw it happening by way of my mom and my dad stopped fighting. My mom or my dad stopped using drugs. My mom or dad stopped doing things that were destroying themselves, destroying us. That's how I saw it happening. I didn't see it happening by way of somebody knocking on the door or showing up at my school and removing me. And now I'm in this situation where I'm now with these other people and something in me is supposed to expect that they love me and they really care about me. It doesn't make sense to me, because why would a perfect stranger feel this way about me and lend their hand, their home, and their heart to care for me when my own parents wouldn't do it? And you're telling me that this person that I see myself being, that I could be this healed person? You're saying that that's really possible? That I don't have to be defined or stuck by what has happened to me? You're saying that that's a possibility for me? And me saying yes. Because I was a student of the science. I was a student of the work. I wasn't just a professional talking and teaching it. I was living it. I was parenting. So I got to see what was happening behind the scenes. I got to see and do the work and live the work of what it really meant to help somebody be who they really saw themselves being. And in the midst of all of that, it left me asking one question, even to myself, for me. What about me? Does this mean that I really deserve it too? Or am I just a person who gets to serve and help everybody else get through it? See, I have the husband, the children, I have the house, the career, the life that people call successful. And even in the midst of serving everybody else, something inside of me secretly felt empty. Make it make sense. And in 2014, Be Who You Really See became my mission, because it was an answer to a prayer that I had been praying. I've been praying a prayer for 2, 3 years. How can I be empty when I'm doing all this to help other people? And the answer was clear. You spend all your life being who everybody else wants you to be until you wake up one day and realize that you have failed miserably. And that's when it hits you. I should just be me. I am the only human being that nobody else has the capacity to be. And that day shifted the trajectory of my life. Up until that point, and that prayer I've been asking, who am I? Who am I? Will you just show me who I am? If you just show me who I am, I'll be it. I stopped asking myself that day, who am I? And I started asking myself, who do I want to be? And then I used all those years of the science and the experience that I had helping everybody else accomplish that, and I used it on me. I used it to help me. That years of experience that I used to help people recognize what was misaligned in their own life, tell the truth about who they really saw themselves being, and make decisions that supported the life that they wanted to be living, the life they wanted to be building, I used it on me. And over the last few months, I've sat at the feet of somebody and I've done the work. I've studied and I have managed to get out of me exactly what you need if you are the person who is like the clients of ours at the Fantasy Love Code that I noticed were still struggling with creating the love life that they imagine. Maybe you are the person who is struggling simply because there was a gap between who you see yourself being and who you're showing up as daily. And you're like, I got to close this gap. I need to be able to connect with that version of me and be that version of me daily. If that's you, I am hosting, and by I, of course, I mean my husband and I, our team here at the Fantasy Love Code. We are hosting Be Who You Really See, a 3-day identity alignment experience for vision-driven men and women. Vision-driven women and men. It doesn't matter which order you put it in. You're included. And y'all, this is not a relationship training. This training is not about your love life. And this is not us sitting around doing motivational work. By doing the work and sitting at the feet of a beast, I was able to pull out of me what I know that you need. What I've been able to give to our clients in one-on-one coaching. You're going to get a 3-day experience. That's with me live, sitting right there with you, guiding you, doing the work that I have been privileged to do for more than 18 years. And I just say 18 because I love the number 18. My birthday is an 18. It's been more than 18 years. It's been over 20 years that I've been helping people release everything that is standing in the way of who they see themselves being so they can be that version of themselves that they are proud of, that they love, that they honor, and that they show up as daily. If you are one of those people that are ready to see yourself clearly, release what does not fit with that identity that you really see, and fully embody the identity that you see, that embodiment is what I call be who you really see, then you want to be at this training. This is not just about your love life. This is not just about you being a parent. This is not about you being a better coworker. This is about the totality of who you see yourself being, your full identity. If you are only looking for one piece or another, I promise you will not be served in this training to the extent of what you're seeking, because I'm diving deep. Now, when I say they're diving deep, I'm training. You're getting access to me, to my heart, to my soul, to my guidance, to me walking you through, to me doing exercises with you that truly help unlock what's standing between that version of who you see and that version you keep being, and helping you connect with that version that you really see. That identity, that one you keep daydreaming about, the one you see when nobody's watching, the one you think about when you're sipping your coffee, the one you think about on your way to sleep, when you're on your jog, when you're at your events, when you're at the grocery store, when you have a moment of peace. That identity is who we are going to be birthing over this 3-day experience. Now, the dates. This is the first day. You'll be able to find it on the website, www.thefantasyloveco.com/be who you really see. You'll see the dates there. You will see the time. You'll see all of that on our website. Right now, I have it set up because I don't want you to feel a sense of, well, what happens if I'm not able to make the date that's there? I get it. Go there anyways and register. Go register. Register for the date that you see. And I want you to be intentional about trying to make it your mission to be there. There are going to be some other dates. But once you go register, you will see and you will receive one of the biggest bonuses that you could even imagine. And I'm not even going to tell you what that bonus is. In fact, my husband, who's standing over back behind the camera, is looking like, what's the bonus? He doesn't even know what it is. He has no idea what the bonus is. But I assure you that my heart is here to serve you. My heart is to have complete joy and bliss and my purpose, my mission, and calling, and helping you be who you really see. So I hope to see you at our 3-day identity alignment experience, where the version of who you see yourself being enters the room every time you step in. That version of you that knows that there is more, that version of you that you've been thinking about, I'm looking forward to you being that version of you. Across these 3 days, we're going to focus on 3 things. Day 1, see yourself clearly. And you've heard me say it a few times, but day 1 is going to be see yourself clearly. And there are some very specific outcomes that you are going to leave with. Not even to mention that transformation is going to happen just by you showing up and being present. But you're going to leave with some specific outcomes. You are going to recognize the version of yourself that you really see yourself being, and you're going to be able to name it with absolute clarity. Day 2, you are going to be able to start releasing what does not fit with that identity. You are going to have a very clear depiction, a clear understanding of what's standing in your way, what's standing right in between who you see yourself being and who you're showing up as daily, and you're going to know exactly how to release it. And on day 3, you are going to be who you really see. You are going to learn how to fully embody it. Embodiment, mind, body, and spirit, the totality of your being, how to fully embody who you see yourself being, not just act like. And I put emphasis on act for a reason. You'll learn that later. Some of you already know. Not a behavioral shift, a true identity shift into who you really see yourself being. Because one of the things that gives me the absolute best, the thing that makes it all worth it, I say this to people all the time, like, what keeps you going? What makes you do this thing other than it being your calling? And it's like, boy, there's something about seeing people walk different, talk different, and move different. It just does it for me. That resurrection, that restoration, the redemption of their identity, who they see themselves being, it does something to me. Because I've been there. I've been in their shoes and I've sat in their seat. You are going to have everything you need to show up fully. You're going to get the exact steps, the exact mechanism that keeps you connected to the version of you that you see yourself being. You're going to get the real-time tools to align in real time while you're right there in attendance. And y'all, this is happening virtually. It's happening via Zoom. But you're going to get the tools to start aligning the life that you are building with who you see yourself being. And yes, your love life does matter. We're not leaving that off, but that is not the purpose of this one. But it will be included. Because of all the areas of life that can come with ease to you, your love life is the one highest leverage area that determines whether you fully live as who you see yourself being, the totality of who you see yourself being, the one that is fueled by your love life being a source of power, strength, and vitality, or your love life can be a place where you go to pretend, settle, and self-sacrifice to a point of depletion. Your love life has that much power. And those who are assigned to me for my purpose, mission, and calling, I will certainly continue to serve you in your love life. But right now, and for the next several weeks, the focus is solely on you. On you and who you see yourself being. Now, if you are single, that one is a little bit easier. If you're in a relationship or you're married, invite them. It's not going to detract away from you. It's not going to detract away from your relationship. But make no doubt about it, it is about you and who you see yourself being. And if you invite the person that you're dating, if you invite your spouse, I do not want this to be misconstrued. I will be talking to them too, to let them know it is about who they see themselves being. Because the work that I do is not solely for the purpose of you having the love life you imagine. It is for the purpose of you being who you see yourself being, the totality of who you see yourself being, and showing up as that person daily. And every night when you go to sleep, having a complete peace with knowing that you are being who you see yourself being, that you are in alignment with who you see yourself being. So this training begins with your identity, with seeing yourself clearly, with releasing what doesn't fit, and with being who you really see. Because before your love life can fuel the life that you are building, before your purpose can fully show up, before your decisions can align, before your relationship can reflect the person you are becoming, you first have to be who you really see. I'm Ashley Boyd, the co-founder of the Fantasy Love Co. And we have one mission: to guide vision-driven women and men to be who they really see and create a love life that is a source of power, strength, and vitality that fuels the life they are building. I hope to see you and be who you really see, a 3-day identity alignment experience. Until then, be who you really see. It makes life worth living.